Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the pretrial hearing date for a man accused in the death of Amanda Johnson now set.
A woman in Victoria claims Walmart lacks accessibility for those with disabilities.
And we continue diving into the mayoral candidates' personalities beyond their policy platforms as we introduce two candidates this evening.
It's been a while since we've had winter weather in the Crossroads. We have some tips coming up for you in your forecast.
And the Patriots have already named a replacement on the Hills. Parting ways with head coach Bill Belichick. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
The pretrial hearing for Fernando Acosta Jr. is Tuesday morning in Bay City. He's accused in the death of Amanda Johnson. Acosta is out on bond. His bond was set at $500,000. A murder trial date for Acosta is set on February 26th. On April 18, 2021, the Matagorda County Sheriff's Office found human remains in a burned 2018 Ford Explorer and confirmed the remains to be of Johnson, who had 2 children. Acosta is indicted on charges of tampering with evidence, abuse of corpse, and murder.
A truck hauling a trailer full of cattle collided with a van on a feeder road. At around 11 a.m. Friday, reports came in about a crash on a frontage road near the intersection of Briggs Boulevard and U.S. Highway 77. A red Ford F-150 was traveling westbound on a frontage road when a Mercedes van was stopped at a stop sign. The driver of the Mercedes believed he was making a left turn to go on the main street and failed to yield the right-of-way at the stop sign. The red truck then T-boned him on the passenger side. No one was transported for injuries, and the trailer containing the cattle was not breached. An additional trailer was brought in to help transfer the cattle out, and the owner of the cattle said he was on his way to the ranch when the wreck occurred. A DeWitt County man faces federal charge over a shooting last October. U.S. Marshals have charged Cody Eggmeyer with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He was taken into custody October 18th after a chase in DeWitt County. Eggmeyer, who faces 3 charges, is in the DeWitt County Jail in lieu of a $30,000 bond. No bond has been set on the U.S. Marshals charge.
DeWitt County Sheriff's deputies arrested 21-year-old Jody Candia Wednesday in Thomaston. The arrest warrant came out of Alice. Candia is accused of aggravated sexual assault. He is in the DeWitt County Jail in lieu of $100,000 bond.
Now, we recently had all of the mayoral candidates live on our sister station, 25 News Now, or rather this station, to hear their various platforms. Now we're giving you a chance to learn more about their character and personality. We asked all the mayoral candidates the same 4 questions. Our first question was for them to show us an important item in their home or office.
Number 2, talk to me about your dream job when you were a child. Number 3, if you're elected mayor, what is your greatest fear? And finally, what is your favorite quote and why? Here are Peter Brown and Josephine Solis.
Seek first to understand and then to be understood. That way, if I talk to somebody, I know what they're wanting, I can understand where they're coming from, and then I am better able to serve because I understand what they want. I always wanted to be a teacher, a math teacher, and I did go try to do the teaching, and it turned out that I really wasn't going to know. So I went into accounting instead. So that's why I'm an accountant. In 2017, we had Harvey. A lot of people had never experienced the hurricane. And so when you don't understand or you don't know what's going to happen, that creates fear in the population because, it's something that you've never had to go through. My favorite item in the home is going to be my family Bible. That has a lot of history in it. My grandmother had one and I used to love to thumb through it. Then my mother had hers and I have my mother's. And then I have mine for our house. And I have several family members that have passed away, including my son.
What comes to mind, it's a card, a daily reminder from my late mom, and she wrote it to me. And my wife was nice enough to frame it and put it in our living room. And I look at it. I should every day, but every so often, and it's comforting, and it means a lot to me. Besides becoming mayor, it would have to be, let's see. Of course, I wanted to be a pro athlete. But in reality, I always liked the idea of construction, which I went that route, and then a game warden. I always enjoyed hunting and fishing, and so it seemed like that would be a good fit. And obviously I didn't go that route, but those would be the two. Rerun of COVID, but worse. We think we know what to expect if it happened again. We're used to it. It's going to be different, I assume, in some way, and I just being not ready, underprepared for that event, should it happen, unfortunately. I'm going to go with Whatever You Are, Be a Good One, and that's by Abraham Lincoln. And I think I like it because I think it applies to everyone. You know, you can be doing an average thing, but do the best you can and make it not average, make it good, make it great, make it better.
That was Josephine Solis and Peter Brown. Also on the ballot, Robert Bob Constantine, Jacob Salceda, Carissa Winters, and Dwayne Crocker. Early voting starts January 17th and runs through January 30th. Join us Saturday, February 3rd for complete coverage of the special mayor election. Now, shopping is something most of us take for granted. However, one Victoria resident has expressed concerns regarding her mobility issues. Naomi Durazo wants to shop at either of the two Victoria Walmart locations, but because of the lack of motorized scooters there, she feels forced to take her business elsewhere.
I don't even try to go by there anymore because it's just so it's disappointing because I'll get there and my son will walk around inside Walmart, he'll walk around outside in the parking lot looking for one, and then I just either have to sit in the car or we have to leave.
25 News Now has reached out to Walmart customer relations for comment. Durazo is thinking about starting a Facebook support group for disabled citizens in the Crossroads to help others living with this condition. For now, she shops at H-E-B, where she says motorized carts are always available. This morning, leaders from several state agencies, including Governor Greg Abbott, spoke about the state's response to the expected record-breaking cold weather this weekend. Abbott said the state will be hit by basically a polar vortex and warned people to be prepared for their homes and businesses for the cold snap. Leaders from ERCOT, the Texas Division of Emergency Management, and the Texas Railroad Commission joined the governor to talk about the preparations put in place ahead of the expected weather.
Here's information on two warming centers opening in Victoria Sunday. The warming center at First United Methodist Church, 407 North Bridge Street, will open at 2 p.m. Sunday. It will close at 8 a.m. Wednesday. The church is collecting donations of bottled water, individually packaged snacks, light throw blankets, or socks. The Salvation Army of Victoria headquarters, 1302 North Lewis Street, opens as a warming center anytime the temperature drops below 35 degrees or below 30 degrees in wind chill. The emergency shelter will be open from 4:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. when the church center closes Wednesday. They will go to the Salvation Army.
Bringing us to your beer poll this evening, you can scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, are you prepared for Monday's Arctic blast? Yes or no? According to our results, it looks like 87% of the people say yes and 13% say no. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10.
And the Goliad Memorial Auditorium will be open as a warming shelter for Goliad County residents. The Goliad Advanced Guard reports the shelter opens at 5 p.m. Sunday and will be open until 8 a.m. Tuesday. The auditorium is at 925 U.S. Highway 183 South. If you want to volunteer, call 361-405-9170.
And now let's take a look at your forecast with meteorologist Scott Pitney with a look at this Arctic blast headed our way.
Yeah, Karina, there's been a lot of discussion on what to expect, so we're going to break it down for you and try to simplify it for you. Really, we want you to be prepared, not scared. So there is a cold front that is going to be arriving Sunday morning for all of the Crossroads that we are calling Monday an alert day. This is for Monday, and the reason is that we could see a little bit of freezing rain coming Monday morning. I know we had the Martin Luther King Day parade going on, so we'll talk about the timing and have the rest of your forecast coming up in weather. Don, Karina, back.
Scott, thank you. Texas is taking the extraordinary step of kicking federal agents off land. The Texas state military took control of an area near the Mexico border in Eagle Pass. That happened earlier this week, and by Wednesday, the state started putting up razor wire and fencing. This is in an effort to shut off access from a nearby golf course and entry bridge, which is used as a waiting area for migrants. Governor Greg Abbott says this is all within his jurisdiction.
So Texas has the legal authority to control ingress and egress into any geographic location in the state of Texas, and that authority is being asserted with regard to that park in Eagle Pass, Texas, to maintain operational control.
Abbott told a conservative radio host he is doing everything to keep migrants out, short of shooting them. You may also be wondering why Texas has its own military force. Well, the Texas Military Department dates back to 1836, when the state was a republic and fought its own wars.
The father and son accused in the killings of Savannah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn child will be represented by two prominent San Antonio criminal defense lawyers. The San Antonio Express-News reports Monica Guerrero has been appointed to represent Christopher Preciado. He's charged with capital murder of multiple persons and 3 other crimes. His father, Ramon Preciado, who's facing 3 charges, will be represented by John J. Kuntz IV, also a court appointment. The first lawsuit has been filed in the wake of the explosion at a downtown Fort Worth hotel. KXAS reports a man who says he was injured while running from the blast is suing the hotel, its ownership company, and natural gas company Atmos Energy, accusing them of negligence. The suit says Christopher Medeiros was working in a building next to the hotel when the explosion occurred. The suit claimed as Medeiros was running for his life, he tripped, fell, and suffered an injury.
Next Monday, January 15th, is the Martin Luther King March and Program. The march starts at 10 a.m. and begins at the Martin Luther King Park on 3808 Cali Street. It will then end at St. Peter's Baptist Church, where a program celebrating MLK will take place. Guest speaker and civil rights attorney Matthew Manning will be attending this program.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then when you're on YouTube, you can get Crossroads Today. Yeah, and stay with us. The Supreme Court set to hear a case on homeless encampments. Coming up on 25 News now at 6, how 2 homeless people in Oregon brought the case to national headlines.
Also ahead, we bring you a story from Dallas. In a rare twist of fate, a wife, the husband, and their daughter all share the same birthday.
The federal government has filed a lawsuit against Houston ISD accusing them of pay discrimination based on sex. KPRC reports the district is accused of paying female senior career and technical education program specialists lower wages than their male counterparts for doing the same work. The lawsuit says this has been happening since February 2019. Houston ISD is accused of violating the Equal Pay Act of 1963, which bans discrimination in pay based released on 6.
The Supreme Court agreed to take on a case Friday on homelessness. It stems from litigation in Oregon. 2 homeless people challenged a city ordinance in Grants Pass that allows police to issue tickets to people camping in public places. They argued it violates the Constitution's limit on cruel and unusual punishment. A lower court agreed, saying you can't stop people from sleeping in public places if you don't provide an alternative. Grants Pass does not have a homeless shelter, so homeless communities have become an issue in major cities. Officials in Phoenix, San Francisco, and Los Angeles urged the Supreme Court to hear the case.
Some of us may have forgotten a loved one's birthday by accident. It happens.
It
but
does.
For one Texas family, it's a little easier to remember their special day.
And that's because the wife, husband, and one of their daughters all share the same birthday, which is January 13th. Hey, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
For Irene Masters of Burleson, the best part of celebrating a birthday is that she's never alone.
Yeah.
Irene turns 90 on Saturday, and incredibly, so does her husband.
And when you share a birthday, it's just a really special occasion.
Well, it helps me to remember it.
Irene and William were both born January 13th, 1934.
Your oldest.
He's older by 5 hours.
12:45 p.m.
They've been married 64 years, and from the moment they met, sharing a birthday was hard to believe.
I thought, he's teasing, that couldn't be true. So I asked him to take out his driver's license and let me look at it to see if he was telling me the truth.
What are the odds?
Uh-huh.
Apparently, pretty good.
Here's the date.
Because not only were they both born January 13th, their daughter was too.
Absolutely. Very unusual, but
Yes, Charlotte also shares a birthday with her parents.
Yeah.
In fact, the only family member not born January 13th is Charlotte's older sister, Melinda.
people would feel sorry for her and bring her presents on my birthday. But then on her birthday, I never got any presents. But I'm not bitter about it, so that's good.
Truthfully, Charlotte says, sharing a birthday with her parents is the real gift.
It's just God's way of saying, you know, you three are linked in a way that only I could do.
And as they've always done, this weekend they'll have a party.
Yeah, that was what's so unique about all this.
However, none of the 6 grandchildren or 5 great-grandchildren share January 13th as a birthday. So this unlikely string of birthdays may be ending.
There's still time. Hint, hint.
Or maybe not.
Happy birthday to you.
In Burleson,
And many more.
I'm Sean Giggy.
It's been a while since we've talked about the 4 Ps in the crossroads. We'll have that for you along with the rest of your forecast coming up next. Stay with us. And welcome back. Again, we have some freezing drizzle possible, about a 30% chance for Monday morning. and then hard freeze for Monday night as well as Tuesday night, maybe lasting into Wednesday morning. So we've got several hours that we are going to be below freezing. That's why you want to make your preparations now. Tomorrow's a good day. Tomorrow's going to be mild temperatures, sunny skies, and make sure you take care of wrapping those open pipes, covering tender vegetation, providing shelter for pets, and then shutting down those sprinkler systems. Here are those winds. Those winds were pretty steady, gusting to around 25 to 35 earlier. They've calmed down since then, single-digit wind speeds along the coast in the teens, as you would expect, a little breezier along the coast. As we look at the national map, we've talked about this last front that came through. That's tied to a very deep low pressure system up in the Chicago area that is dumping a lot of snow up there. Those folks getting over a foot of snow in some cases. And of course, they have the Iowa caucus on Monday, so they'll be dealing with all that winter weather up there. For us, this is the next front. This is the leading edge, this cloud mass coming into the Northwest Pacific. That is what we're going to be watching and tracking as it moves into the crossroads, bringing us our winter weather. Right now, temperatures mostly in the 50s along the crossroads, approaching close to 60 along the coast. And then for future temperatures, this is tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Saturday morning, temperatures in the upper 30s, 50s, and some 40s along the coast. And then as we get to Sunday morning, this is Sunday morning at 5 a.m., the front will already have come through, but those temperatures will continue to drop. They're going to start off in the mid to upper 30s and then go up a little bit. High temperatures getting to only the mid 40s on Sunday, but then by Sunday night, we'll see those temperatures dropping and we'll see our first freeze coming Sunday night, although the freeze will be not too bad Sunday night, temperatures being around 30 degrees for Sunday night. If you're headed to Port Lavaca down by the coast tomorrow, expect sunny conditions with some windy conditions as well. Temperatures in the low 60s, clear skies for Port Lavaca tomorrow. Cuero, you're going to be in the 50s, a little bit cooler, but still sunny and windy conditions as well for Cuero. Temperatures in the mid 40s. And then for Victoria, fairly close to Cuero, a little bit warmer. Temperatures in the low 60s. Again, sunny and windy conditions as well, and clear overnight for Victoria. So here's the 7-day. Going to be windy and breezy for tomorrow, 67 or so, mid 60s for your high tomorrow. Those winds out of the southwest, low of 40 degrees. Then the front comes through. Again, high temperature only making it to the mid 40s on Sunday, and then the low Sunday night into Monday morning, 32. So not too bad, but it will freeze Sunday night into Monday morning. Then Martin Luther King Day Monday, we have a 30%. This is mostly in the morning for some light rain or possibly freezing drizzle. And keep in mind these temperatures will adjust. So keep checking back with us daily to get the updates. High temperature only 38 on Monday, low 23. And notice that wind too. We'll see wind chill factors in the single digits. And then Tuesday, mostly sunny skies, but only a high temperature of 37. North winds at 20, low of 21. And then Wednesday, we'll finally get out of the freezing temperatures with a low in the low 40s. Of course, you can download the Crossroads Today app. Just click on the QR code. It'll take you right to the app. Sign up for email alerts, and it's free. Karina, back to you.
Thank you, Scott. And now here's Zach Brown with your sports.
Well, they have called him the Hallettsville Hammer. Now he's going to represent the number 12 for Texas A&M. I'll have that in sports. Patriots have found their replacement for head coach Bill Belichick, and they're staying in-house. They are promoting Gerard Mayo, who has only ever been a linebackers coach, but long rumored to maybe one day be a great head coaching candidate. His lack of coaching experience makes this move a swing for the fences, especially given the fact they did not even bother to interview anyone else. The Patriots had a great defense this year. Offense was the problem. We'll see what they do at quarterback. Are they going to stick with Zappe or go after someone else? Another vacancy filled, that is Alabama. They will bring in Kalen DeBoer, who is the head coach at Washington, who just lost in the national championship game to Michigan. DeBoer is 105-12 in his coaching career, the 2022 Pac-12 Coach of the Year and the 2023 AP Coach of the Year. Big shoes to fill replacing Nick Saban, but DeBoer has a great resume so far. This weekend, the Texans and Cowboys both hosting playoff games. The Cowboys game is going to be on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. for Dallas. This is a golden opportunity to finally get over that hump. They were able to win the division and capture the second seed, guaranteeing some home playoff games where they have thrived. And no one has been overly dominant this year, but first things first, they got to take care of business in the wild card round against Green Bay. The Cowboys, no stranger to the postseason. This year, they're more mature and primed to make a deeper playoff run. Texas A&M is home to the 12th man, and wearing the number 12 is a big honor. And earlier this week, the Texas A&M Aggies baseball team selected who they want to wear that number.
This year's who's going to represent Texas A&M wearing number 12, Mr. Ryan Targott.
That is the star from Hallettsville, Texas, Ryan Targott, who will don the number 12 this year, and it's not something he's taking lightly. On his Twitter, he says, being named number 12 is an honor, and to be able to represent Texas A&M and what it stands for is such a privilege. The Aggies say wearing this number represents the community. All right, the UHV Jags celebrating a great one today, the birthday of Doug Heinold, who promptly blasts the candles off the cake. We know who they can go to if there's ever an injury in that lineup. The boys defending that Red River Athletic Conference title. The vibes always immaculate over at UHV. All right, you know, Doug Heinold has actually been at UHV since the 2007 season, the first ever season for UHV baseball. Donna, Karina, back to you.
Pretty good swing by Doug. Doesn't need to go in the cage now for that.
The vibes were there for sure.
That's right.
Well, we're going to be back in a moment. A man found a pack of unopened baseball cards, and they could be worth $1 million.
Finally tonight, a Massachusetts man found an unopened 72-year-old pack of baseball cards. In 1952, those cards sold for just a penny. Jason West found the cards during a home demolition. Both Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays were rookies that year. Their baseball cards can be worth a lot of money. The unopened pack could sell for around $15,000, so say the experts. If there is a Mantle or Mays rookie card inside, that pack could be worth $1 million. West is still undecided about whether or not he will open the pack. Here's one thing that'll happen when you open the pack, sir. If there's gum in there, it'll smell. So watch for the smell. And then watch for the money and the offers to roll in if the Mickey Mantle and the Willie Mays cards are in there.
Wow, I love the cards. I wasn't a big fan of the gum though. It's a little
hard.
stiff.
It was
a little
brittle.
stiff.
It really was.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of the cold. And there are some things that could be affected by the cold here this weekend.
We are going to get cold, and I think people may be wishing for a little bit of the summer that we had back. Maybe just
a little bit.
just a tiny bit. Maybe not so much the drought or the excessive heat, but a little bit of the summer. Yes, we have some Arctic air coming, and so tomorrow's a good day to prepare. Sunny skies, mid-60s, and I would have those preparations done unless you like being outside in windy, cold conditions, because that's what Sunday's going to be. Highs in the mid-40s, and then it's going to start freezing. Not too bad Sunday, but then several hours of freezing temperatures Monday, Tuesday, even into Wednesday morning.
Oh boy. Scott, thank you, and thanks for joining us.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.